What's up guys, this is Rajkumar Singh and I'm once again back with you all people to discuss the remaining part of the first lesson, that is of a development of the historiography in the European country or in the Western country. So in this particular video we are going to discuss about the notable scholar who have contributed very well in the development of the historiography in the European countries. So let us begin with the topic, and this video is going to be in the bilingual form as usual. So let us discuss now. The contribution of many scholars are important in the development of historiography. Let us have a look at the contribution of the few notable scholars. As I mentioned earlier, because nothing in this world can lead to the success without any contribution by the any member of the society. So for the success, or you can say to lead anything into the you can say for the success, it's necessary that each and every person in the society they must contribute. So in the same manner, for leading the success in the development of the historiography in the modern in the Western country or in the European country, many scholars have contributed. Among them few scholars we are going to discuss over here. So let us begin with the first one, that is a René Descartes. Actually, René Descartes, he was one of the most foremost scholar. So let us begin with it. René Descartes, who was born in 1596 and he died in 1650. René Descartes was the foremost among the scholars who insisted on verifying the reliability of the historical document by critically examining them. Actually, what he thought, he basically explained that whatever the historical document you people are having, so before writing the history you should know what is the reliability of the document, whether the document is fake or whether the document is based on the biased or it's unbiased. So that must be checked, because without checking the document, and if you are willing to write an history, then it's going to create some problem, because many a times it's like that whatever the historical documents you get is not sure that it's going to be correct or it's going to be a true. So it's very much important to verify its reliability, whether it is correct or not. Okay, now see, among the rules given by him in his book Discourse on the Method. So this is very important. While writing the answers, you need to remember the books which has been given by the authors. So the Discourse on the Method, this was the book which was written by René Descartes, and it's very important while mentioning your, you can say, while writing your answers in the examination, you need to mention this particular book. Or sometimes it's going to be asked for the 1 marks, or for the match the following, or identify the correct pair. Sometimes this types of the question is asked, so you need to remember that Discourse on the Method, this was a book written by René Descartes. So basically whatever the, you can say, explanation regarding the historiography he has given, as all things is written in his book Discourse on the Method. The following is supposed to have a great impact on the scientific method of research. So whatever the steps he has mentioned in his book, that is very much important in writing the historiography on any topic. Now see, never to accept anything for true till all ground of doubts are excluded. So this point which he has mentioned is very much important, that never to accept anything without knowing the truth, without knowing the each and every aspect of that particular field while writing the historiography. So basically what you need to remember, that René Descartes, he was one of the greatest scholar of ever. He has written the book which name is Discourse on Method, and what you can say the philosophy, or what is the statement he has given, never to accept anything for true till the ground of all doubt are excluded. So these 3 points you need to remember while writing about the René Descartes. So I think so it's very much clear to all people. Now let us begin with the second, that is the Voltaire. Actually Voltaire was one of the most, you can say, famous you can say notable scholar of the French. So let us discuss about him. He was born in 1694 and finally died in 1778. Voltaire's original name was Francois Marie Oriot. So it was its original name. You need to remember, because sometimes it's asked in the question paper, what was the original name of the Francois, or what was the original name of the Voltaire. So you need to write that Francois Marie Oriot, or you can say Francois Marie Oriot. You can pronounce it as you people feel comfortable, but you need to write the correct spelling. So he was a French. Basically, as I told you, the development of the historiography basically took place in the western part of the country. So French is also the country which lies in the European country. So it is a, he was a scholar who used to belong from the French, or you can say France, because the people used to belong from France, they are basically known as a French people. Okay. He hoped that along with the objective truth and chronology of historical event, considering social tradition, economy, agriculture, etc. So yeah, the most important thing what he has mentioned, that while writing the historiography, you need not only to remember about the, you can say, the war which was happening in that particular period of time, or you can say the time, the type of the king used to live in that particular period of time. Along with that, you need to remember most important thing, that is a social tradition. What was the social tradition which was prevailed in that particular period of time? How the trade used to take place between this between the other nation in that particular period of time? What was the condition of the economy? What was the condition of the agriculture, so etc. When you are going to discuss all this field, or when you are going to discuss all this topic, so you will get to know better understanding of that particular period of time. Suppose if we are discussing about you can say the Britishers India, or when the Britishers came into India, when we are discussing about their history, so how we get to know that what kind of the condition was there in India when the Britishers were ruling? How we will get to know? We will get to know by discussing its agriculture policies, by discussing its economic policies, by discussing the trade which we used to take place between the India and the other part of the world. So by knowing each and every aspect, by knowing each and every field, we get to know the more and more about that particular period of time. So it's very much important, which was mentioned by the, you can say, Voltaire. Okay. Was equally important in the historiography. As I mentioned, it gave rise to the thought that understanding all aspects of human life is important for historical writing. Yeah, it's very much important, because while writing the historiography, you need to look out and each and every aspect. Each and every aspect means what? So suppose if you are discussing about any history, you need to mention all this point which has been mentioned by the Voltaire, like agriculture, tradition, trade, economy, religion. You need to mention each and every field, because if you are missing any of the important topic, you miss the important aspects of that particular period of time. Okay. Thus it is said that the Voltaire was a founder of modern historiography. So you need to remember this, that Voltaire is also known as the founder of modern historiography. So basically we have discussed about the two notable scholars. First one was René Descartes, second was Voltaire. So you need to remember all this thing. Voltaire is also known as the founder of modern historiography. What are the things he has discussed while writing the historiography? So basically you need to remember all these things. Okay, so let us discuss with the third historiographer, that is the George William Frederick Hegel. He was a notable scholar of Germany. Okay, so basically he was born in 1770s and died in 1831. Hegel was a German philosopher. As I mentioned, philosopher means what? The person who has lots of knowledge regarding any particular field, or you can say he's a person who thinks basically about the society, what the changes took place, or he or she is known as a deep thinker. They basically think in a very deep manner regarding any subject. So basically he was a philosopher. He insisted that historical reality should be presented in a logical manner. Yeah, it's very much important, because whenever you are writing anything, there should be a logic behind it. Suppose when sometimes you have seen that while reading the mythological events of any country, it can be of Greece, it can be of India. So in that particular period, it's mentioned that after you can see after the war, the particular man got demolished, the particular man got disappear. So it's not possible. It does not make any sense, or it does not carry any logic. So while writing the historiography, you need to basically focus on the logic. What is the logic behind it? Suppose if you are writing anything, so that not should be the hypothetical means what? That not should be, you can say, over emphasized. It should not be over emphasized. It should be in the limited extent. It should be logical, that the people should understand, yeah, this might can happen. So that things should be remembered while writing the historiography. To him, the timeline of historical event was indicative of progress. Yeah, it's very much clear. Suppose if you are writing the history, if you are reading the history of, you can say, the Mughal period of time, if you are reading the history of the Mauryan Empire, if you are reading the history of the British India, so you will see that there is a lot of technological difference was there. Why the technological difference was there? Because as the time goes on passes, the technology goes on improving day by day. So that's indicate what kind of the quality, or what kind of the things might have happened in that particular period of time. So that need to be mentioned while writing any historiography. That need to be mentioned, that what kind of the technology, or what from which period of time you are talking about. So it's very much important, which the Frederick William Hegel has mentioned about. Okay. He also thought that the presentation of history is bound to change over the time, as new evidence would come forth. Yeah, basically what he told, that it's not like that somebody who has written history in the 14th century, or in the 17th century, or in the 18th century is gonna be remain as same. No, it's not like that. Suppose if you are writing anything, and after some year, if some scholars, or if some scientist has done research on that particular topic, if and they come with a new conclusion, that need to be, you can say, accepted, because evidence is very much important when you are writing the history. So if the somebody people, if you have some suppose if you are writing the Babar Nama or Akbar Nama, which is written by the Abul Fazl, basically. So it's not like that whatever the Abul Fazl has written in that Babar Nama is totally correct or the Akbar Nama is totally correct. It can vary if some basic research has been done in that particular field, or some scholars come with a new conclusion, then it need to be accepted as it mentioned by the Friedrich Hegel. Okay. With Hegel's philosophy, many scholars were convinced that historical methods were not of lesser quality, though they differed from the scientific method. Yeah, basically all the scholars of that particular period of time, they were accepted by the thought of whatever given by the Friedrich Hegel. The collection of his lecture and articles is published in a book entitled Encyclopedia of Philosophical Science. Then you need to remember the name of this book, Encyclopedia of Philosophical Science. This was a book which is written by the Friedrich William Hegel. He has mentioned all the aspect, or he has mentioned all his, you can say, creativity regarding the historiography in this particular book. So you need to remember this. His book known as Reason in History is well known. So Reason in History, these are the two important books. These are the two important books which is written by the William Hegel. You need to remember, because sometimes it's asked in the examination, sometimes no, most probably it's asked in the examination. So you need to remember Encyclopedia of Philosophical Science and Reasons in History. So basically we have done with the three notable scholars. First was a first was a Rain Descartes. Yeah, we have basically done with a Rain Descartes. We have also seen what kind of the book he has written, discuss on the, you can say, method. Second, Voltaire, we have seen about him. He was a great French scholar, or you can say he was a great French philosopher. And third, we have done with the, you can say, William Friedrich Hegel. So all these scholars have given their own opinion while writing the historiography, or how the historiography can, you can say, can be written in the different form. So basically we have done with the three scholars. In the next video we are going to discuss about the remaining the scholars. Thank you.